Time to take a live look through the eye of our weather camera on Main Street in Onawa, Iowa. That area about to become the hub of all things RAGBRAI. 40,000 cyclists, one small Iowa town, and a heat index that could make this weekend dangerous. Onawa is ready to welcome RAGBRAI to town. KTIV's Taylor Deckard is with Live Link 4 for us in Onawa tonight. Taylor, how is this community preparing to take care of the thousands of guests they'll have during this heat wave?
That's right, Matt. Well, I'm at one of the locations where several thousand will be laying down to catch some rest before they leave out on that full route. But I spoke with the fire chief and some volunteers who want to make sure that no one goes on a ride in an ambulance.
We're here and we'll have members here to assist.
Fire Chief Adam Sutton says their team of 26 volunteers are ready to assist the community and the over 40,000 guests.
We're setting up a misting fan to keep people cool. The station will be open while we're selling hamburgers and brats.
The station will be open for people to take a break from the sun.
In the high humidity, people are going to get overheated pretty quickly. And we're just going to make sure we have the members here to help out if anything comes up.
Burgess Medical Center is also bracing for a surge in heat-related calls.
You know, when we increase our population by several thousand people here this upcoming weekend, that we're prepared for it, and that, you know, if something were to happen or if somebody has an emergency, you know, not only the people who are just in our community that need us on a day-to-day basis, but also a lot of the other people that, you know, we're able to respond to their needs in the most effective way that we can.
Community members can also play a role in keeping each other safe.
The biggest thing that we're going to be looking out for, obviously, is making sure people are hydrated and making sure that people are taking the proper precautions and trying to, you know, stay out of the sun the best they can.
Get hydrated. It's going to be so hot. I feel so bad for them.
Whether you're riding, cheering from the sidelines, or just driving through town this weekend, everyone's goal is safety.
It might save you a trip to the emergency department somewhere down the line.
If you're coming from I-29, you'll see the hospital as you enter into town. That's where you can get some first aid assistance. There's also going to be a pop-up aid tent that's located on 9th Street, and then another pop-up spot is going to be located on the east side of the tracks. So that way, if there is another emergency elsewhere in the county, they can still respond. Matt, Jessica.
KTIV's Taylor Deckard for us live in Onawa. Taylor, thank you. Once the riders leave Onawa Sunday morning, they'll head east to Turin, then turn southeast, going through Soldier before the meeting town of Dunlap. Then they'll keep going southeast through Erling and Westphalia before reaching the overnight town of Harlan. And KTIV will have continuing coverage of the start to this year's RAGBRAI ride on all of our platforms, starting with News 4 Today tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. You can check out our coverage on air, online at KTIV.com, and on our digital platforms, the News 4 Now app and the KTIV News app.